Ask the Experts is brought to you by Seaman Law Offices, the keystone to your family's legacy.
Welcome to today's episode of Ask the Expert. If you are suffering from midweek blues, Doreen and I have an interesting topic today: retirement trusts.
Retirement accounts have become a very popular financial solution for many of us, and I see a lot of clients with multiple retirement accounts, some with large sums of money. For those with retirement accounts, I highly recommend a trust called a Retirement Conduit Trust, or IRA Inheritance Trust.
Okay, Doreen, so why is that?
Well, let's use an example. We'll call them Mr. and Mrs. George. They each have 2 IRAs, and Mr. and Mrs. George also have 3 daughters. And we have Beth. She isn't very wise with money. Allie's marriage is rocky, and Fran's only 16 years old. So if Mr. and Mrs. George had passed away without an estate plan, the distribution of their IRA money would have been messy. Beth and Allie would have gotten their full portion outright, and then Fran would have waited for the court-appointed guardian to manage her finances and care for her until she's 18. But then if Beth got sick or Allie became divorced, that money would then be exposed. Allie's soon-to-be ex-husband could end up with some of the money, and Beth's creditors could have access to hers.
Oh, wow. Okay, and that's not even mentioning the considerable amount of taxes and sometimes penalties to cash out on an IRA.
So it would be a lot better for Mr. and Mrs. George to have a retirement conduit trust, because then they can establish the distribution that would be best for their daughters, protecting their inheritance from bad decisions and bad situations. With a retirement conduit trust, we can have more assurance that our beneficiaries will withdraw and use that money wisely.
All right, great. Well, that is definitely important information. Thank you so much for joining us again, Doreen. To learn more about retirement trusts and other estate planning options, look for Seaman Law Offices at SeamanLawOffices.com or call 304-554-2900 to schedule a free estate planning consultation. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Ask the Experts has been brought to you by Seaman Law Offices, the keystone to your family's legacy.